Just as we told you, the Avatar collapse is complete, and now creator James Cameron declaring the franchise is on hold indefinitely until they find a way to get the cost down. Today, we'll show you why the crown has gone away from the blue people of Pandora and what might be coming your way from Disney instead. It's a box office blockbuster collapse we told you was coming. We told you it was coming, and it's here. Out of Film, which is an interesting website name, just film. Slash Film, that is. It says, for Avatar 4 to happen, James Cameron reveals the big problem that must be solved. That's by Ryan Scott. Folks, that's an interesting headline. I like this one better. I don't want to be mean to Slash Film, but here it is from Marvin Montanaro. James Cameron admits Avatar 4 may not happen because the franchise is simply too expensive. Oh my. Yeah, that's a little bit more direct, I would say. And why? Why, oh why, is Avatar Fire and Ash the kind of movie that would stop the franchise? We'll take a look at this, folks. If we go to the numbers, we currently are at $1.3 billion for Avatar Fire and Ash. You'll remember that 1.2 is what we predicted was likely the break even for this film. 955 of this has come from the international box office, which is to say the lower margin areas of the world. The highest margins are from the US. At 1.3, this thing has just barely broken even, and it may be petering out. May not make it to 1.5, and both of the prior films had reached over 2. Back to That Park Place, here's what it says. James Cameron has revealed that Avatar 4 might be in trouble. For more than a decade, the Avatar franchise has existed in a rare Hollywood category. Too big to fail. Massive budgets, decade-long production timelines, and unprecedented technical ambition were treated not as risks, but as part of the brand. If anyone could make it work, it was James Cameron. Going down to the quote that's got everybody talking. Speaking with Taiwan's, can we say that here? Cue John Cena. Speaking with Taiwan's TVBS channel, James Cameron confirmed that actress Michelle Yeoh is slated to appear in Avatar 4, but immediately followed that confirmation with a major caveat. Michelle is definitely going to be in 4. If we make 4, he said. Here's the thing. The movie industry is depressed right now. Yes. Well, thank you, James Cameron, for saying what we've been saying, because a lot of the Hollywood trades don't want to agree with us. But welcome to the club. Avatar 3 cost a lot of money to make. Yeah, that's what we said too. Oh my gosh, it's a marriage made in Pandora. We have to do well in order to continue. We have to do well, and we need to figure out how to make Avatar movies more inexpensively in order to continue. Now, guys, I think I know what the play is here. And I'm very interested. Marvin, we'll start with you. You wrote the article. I think James Cameron is trying to build the case to use AI.
Which is hysterical.
To get the cost down. He's on the board of an AI company. He promised he didn't use AI for this one. But the bottom line is they're barely breaking even with this. There is no money being made on the return of investment. Definitely not for Disney. And I think it's on ice unless they can slash this budget in half for Avatar 4. Your thoughts?
Well, look at where most of the money is coming from, overseas markets. Now, they don't get the 50-50 split that they get here in the United States, especially from China. I think the studio maybe gets 20% of what it makes in China. And then based on the contracts that are in place, James Cameron actually gets a large percentage of that studio take of what the movie makes. So right away, you've got a situation where Disney is not making its money back in any way, shape, or form. Now, this movie's cost maybe $400 million, they were saying before marketing, making it one of the most expensive movies ever made. Not, Rise of Skywalker expensive, but pretty expensive.
Yeah, and it's still at minimum, I think. We looked at it. It's at minimum $600 million they're in on production and advertising. That's how we get to 1.2. It may actually be higher. They may not have even reached the break even, but generously, we believe at 1.2 they passed break even.
Right. So James Cameron has been very critical of AI recently, which would be really, really funny if he turns around and all of a sudden starts using AI. But yes, you're right. James Cameron also is, he's bought into an AI company. So yeah, I think he wants to use AI for this really badly. And he knows that if Avatar uses AI, he is going to catch so much flack for it.
So people can understand just how badly Avatar is doing. And we talked about this, and all of the media out there told you, nope, it's doing great. Never doubt James Cameron. Those guys are wrong. And we told you all along, no, trust us, this is not going well. The yellow line is Avatar, Fire and Ash. The blue line is the original Avatar. You can figure out the red is Way of Water. All of that said, the problem is that blue line, these represent box office totals. They don't represent ticket sales. That blue line is based on the money that it made, but tickets were about half the price then as they are today. So if we did a chart where we showed butts in seats, people who actually showed up to the theaters, aka cultural relevancy, that blue line would be twice as high as you currently see it. And then you start to say, okay, so if it's half of what it would be if we were measuring ticket sales, then the gold line suddenly starts to look like 1/4 of the original Avatar. And that's not sustainable. You can't put out another one and it get 1/5 or 1/6 of the original, while at the same time, it's more expensive than ever to make these films. Lauren, the other part of this is that with AI, the spectacle of Avatar may not be as impressive when they start it now versus when the film is finished. By then, tech may be making stuff that looks better than Avatar, and I don't see a way for them to keep up with it.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't have a good way to judge this. This is another series that I never had a particular interest in and don't particularly care about.
Okay, let me help you out, Lauren. Have you ever seen Dancing with Wolves?
Yeah.
You ever seen Smurfs?
Yeah, I've heard the stories. More than that, what I keep hearing is that he just keeps remaking the same movie over and over again. And it's at a certain point, there's
with the same villain
on this anyway.
The same villain who keeps dying and coming back again, Lauren, over and over and over. But hey, Jay, if you're out there, Drunk 3PO, we love the movies. They're great. They're wonderful. We love them. Jay is funding, at least in some percentage of the Avatar films with his constant, Hey, Ron.
Yeah.
Is it time now for Hollywood to go ahead and admit, will the trades now admit we got a problem? If Avatar, and I know they're talking about Zootopia. I know they're really excited about Zootopia. We can talk about that another day. It's not making very much money either because it's all making it in China. But is it time for Hollywood to have the full-blown freak out if not even Avatar can come close to what the predecessors did?
Well, I don't even know why everybody in Hollywood's freaking out behind the scenes. That's very, very clear. There are voices speaking up against what's going on in Hollywood, how bad it is, but those voices are clearly suppressed by the trades and such. They just, with the idea that Netflix might be buying Warner Brothers, and that could mean the end of movie theaters, or at least that theater going experience as we know it. I've seen so many different takes on this. And I think one of the biggest problems is that, when I look at the Avatar franchise, and you kind of mentioned it, you mentioned Dancing with Wolves, you mentioned Fern Gully, Smurfs. We have seen so much of everything. But what we're not seeing and what we're not getting is stories that actually matter to the vast majority of people, especially in the United States of America. Because one of the biggest problems, I think, with the Avatar franchise is the two movies that I saw at the theater. The last one, Way of Water, I remember the experience of seeing it, and I remember about an hour of the film where I just felt like I was on a theme park ride, and I really enjoyed that, but there was no story going on during that hour.
Well, and the whales were filled with immortal goo. That was the story.
Yes. But when I walked away from the theater, I thought, what just happened? Because I don't remember the characters' names. I don't remember that so with the original Star Wars movies back in the 1970s, what truly mattered, I believe, were the characters. When the Empire Strikes Back was over, you're like, wait, is Darth Vader, is he actually Luke's dad? Was he lying? Is Han gonna live? What happened to Han? They say he's alive, but he's frozen in this thing. You really wanted to know what the heck was gonna happen, yet we didn't have social media. There were books that kind of filled in the gaps. And I think we were, you got invested. You liked these characters. I really feel like there was a lot of Han Solo-esque type character in the original Tony Stark when the first Iron Man came out. It's a very watchable film. But now the MCU is convoluted with all kinds of characters, and nobody cares about that anymore. So it just, everything has changed, and it just doesn't seem like Hollywood knows how to write anything anymore. And if they can't get over that problem, no amount of AI in the world is going to help.
Let me read this. It's really impressive. What is stopping all of it? This is out of Slash Film. I know I gave them a hard time, but they've got this good line down here, and it says, the issue for Cameron, James that is, and Disney is that they would have to commit to making Avatar 4 and 5 at the same time, which I don't believe is true. I don't know why they're doing that, but maybe it's an out, maybe it's an excuse. That would mean, with no changes, an $800 million investment, give or take. Now, that's production alone. That's not marketing. What it really would be, when we talk about marketing then, is it's at least $1.2 billion in investment. Given that the 2025 box office failed to cross $9 billion again, the theatrical industry isn't in a great place, and the trend has generally been down, not up. Basically, what this is saying is, James Cameron, to make Avatar 4 and 5, would have to ask for an investment from Disney that totals more than 10% of what the box office is generating. We're not talking about profit. We're talking about in total on the next installments of Avatar. That is a risk I believe too high, especially as they're watching the collapse of this franchise. Folks, it's not just this one. We could go into the other stuff too. Zootopia, not so great domestically, only in China. Wicked, nobody's talking about any more spin-offs from that. Hollywood is in steep and serious decline, and 2026 could be the final year of traditional theatrical releases at the cadence that we've seen before, and we could see mass closures of theaters on the way. All of this we predicted and told you was coming your way. We don't celebrate it. We want theaters. We believe the communal cultural experience of going to theaters with others is really, really, really important, and a cohesion we need. Lauren, I'll wrap this up with you. Anything you see in 2026 that might be a big winner that, I don't know, saves theaters?
I can't think of anything that I've heard about that's on the horizon.
Godzilla minus zero. Godzilla minus zero, Lauren. Go for that one.
Okay, but that's November. You know, it's like you're talking about 11 straight months of, as far as I know, I'm sure there's something out there that I'm not thinking of, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head that I'm thinking to myself, gosh, I can't wait until this hits theaters.
The best they got, the best hope
Mario
they have.
Galaxy.
Mario Galaxy, Toy Story 5, that's it. They've screwed themselves over by putting Avengers Doomsday up against Dune. It's crazy. At a time when they don't have to do that. They're choosing to. But they won't have to contend with Avatar. And folks, they may never have to contend with an Avatar film again. We might have seen the end out of these films of the blue people. No more Fern Gully.
I see you've stooped
and definitely not in 3D.
Wow. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm on a new high. I'm flying on sunbeam light. You might say I have sparkles and protons in my eyes.
Right. Well, everyone's gonna see straight through this. Packing Protons gives the Pro Channel a ton of money to watch terrible movies, and, well, you want in on it.
Yeah, and your point?
It's obviously a grift. It's blatant. It's cardboard and Sharpie. It's over the top.
It's so me.
Yeah, it's very much you.
And do you know the best part?
No.
I actually love bad movies. They're all I watch. I can sit lifelessly with joy watching these things, and packing will pay me money to do what I already enjoy into the wee little mornings of every day. Ah, sweet birdemic and garbage pail kids back to back. I know one little troll who's not gonna sleep tonight.